This time we're going to be looking at the Wave 18 Bioship Beta for species 8472. Nice to see them finally get another ship, and with the new recent announcement of the Bioship Omega in the blind booster pack that's coming out here soon, definitely going to have the makings of a playable fleet now of just Bioships. So looking forward to that. Anyway, we'll get right in and take a look. We have our standard maneuver dial for the species Bioship, same one we've gotten before. And their species Bioship maneuver card, same thing we had before, nothing new here. Lacking those one tight turns, but does have that 3 come about in there. No reverse like some of the other factions, namely the Federation has a lot of those. I think the Romulans have several too, but definitely the nice come about in there, sometimes unexpected. It is red, but doesn't really affect them all that much other than the loss of the action. We have our name Bioship Beta, species faction, 6 attack, 2 agility, 5 hull, 6 shield, really nice and durable. 3 tech upgrades, 2 weapon upgrades for 38 points. Have evasive, target lock, scan, and regenerate. And the named ability is when defending. During the compare results step, you may cancel 1 hit result. If you do, place an auxiliary power token beside your ship. Kind of a neat little ability. Lets you cancel out hits for auxiliaries. Sure, they're going to stack up, but the green maneuvers will pull them off. Being the high level of durability of the ship combined with that makes it a little even extra durable. So definitely a ship that's going to be around and taking some hits. And our generic species starship. I don't know why they didn't call it a bioship. It's kind of odd. But you're losing 1 shield and you're losing 1 of the weapon upgrades for 36 points. For pilots, we have the Bioship Beta pilot. Very creative with the names. It's a captain skill of 8, 1 elite talent for 6 points. When attacking, during the modify attack dice step, you may re-roll 1 of your blank results. Or the second part's even better. If your ship was just destroyed and another friendly ship is within range 1 to 2 of your ship, you may replace that ship's captain card with this card. If the captain is fielded with a elite talent upgrade, you may assign that upgrade to the new ship as well. Kind of an interesting addition. Right now, the only other real pilot we have is another named one with some decent abilities, so I'm not sure how well that would play. But if you're running generics with generic captains, then definitely be worth swapping them out. And we have our generic species 8472 captain. Cap skill of 1 for 0 points. For elite talents, we have telepathy, 4 points. You may discard this card immediately before you move in order to change your maneuver dial for that round. It's a interesting ability. Lets you see what other people are doing before you discard this. You can change your maneuver. Gives you some options based on what your opponents have done. Maybe you chose to turn left instead of right, depending on where they ended up going. Gives you that second option. 4 points for a discard is high, but definitely useful, especially for being able to change your maneuver. For weapon upgrades, we have Energy Blast, 8 points, 8 attack, range 2 to 3. Spend a target lock and discard this card to perform the attack. Can only be purchased for bioships. Basically, it's their version of a torpedo. It's a 1-use 8-die attack. Definitely has its uses. The main attack of the ship already being a 6. You're gaining a little bit. It's 2 extra dice worth discarding a 8-point upgrade and spending a target lock. I'm not sure. I think I would take the ship's native attack value of 6 with the target lock as a reroll before I would go for this, but there may be other things that boost it up in the future that make it worth taking. Next we have Biological Weapon. 6 points. Attack of 5. Range 2 to 3. Discard this card to perform the attack. If this attack hits, in addition to your normal damage, discard one crew upgrade of your choice on the defending ship for each battle station's result, up to a maximum of 2. Can only be purchased for species ships. It's definitely an interesting weapon. Again, it's a kind of situational. If you're attacking Federation or anything crew heavy, it may be worth it. The interesting part to note is that it triggers off battle station rolls, so you still have to land one hit, at least by the way I read it, because it triggers off if the attack hits, then it triggers off battle stations. So you need to get at least one hit in, which with a 5 attack dice is possible. And then any battle stations you roll on top of that are what actually affect the crew. Again, if you're fighting something crew heavy, might be useful. In most situations, I don't think I'd rather just stick with the basic 6 attack on the ship. For tech upgrades, we have Biogenic Field, 6 points. When defending, you roll +1 defense die, +3 versus Borg. In addition, when an enemy card or ability affects one of your cards, roll an attack die, 3 dice against Borgs. If you roll a battle station, you cancel that card's effects. Very nice. Can only be purchased for a species ship, and no ship may be equipped with more than one. Expensive upgrade, but definitely a nice one. Boosts your defense as well as giving you that extra bonus on anything that's going to target any of your upgrades. Definitely worth the points in my opinion. Next we have Fluidic Space for 6 points. Instead of a normal move, you may discard this card to remove your ship from the play area and immediately place it back anywhere in the play area, but not within range 1 to 2 of another ship. You cannot attack or perform any actions on the round you use this ability. It costs 5 extra points for any non-species ship. No ship can have more than one. It's an interesting ability there. Comes with a reminder token. Basically lets you teleport anywhere on the board. This one's nicer than the previous one as it's within range 1 to 2 of a ship, or I believe the other one was range 1 to 3. But at the same time, you can't do anything when you reappear, so no attacking. But you can use it to position yourself behind someone, get behind one of those big dreadnought builds or unmaneuverable ships, and use your superior maneuverability to stay behind there and just beat the crap out of them. Next we have Electrodynamic Fluid, 5 points. As an action, discard this card to immediately perform a second maneuver from your maneuver dial with a speed of 3 or less, or disable this card to perform a sensor echo action even if your ship's not cloaked. This upgrade can only be purchased for a species ship. Kind of an interesting thing. I love things that have multiple uses. The disable to perform the sensor echo is kind of an interesting thing. It does take an action too, which is a little rough, but you'd been spending that action to do a sensor echo anyway, if you had the option. So it's not too terrible. The discard to perform the second maneuver is really the nice thing to this. Not a huge fan of high points cost discards, but definitely with the multiple uses. And for what it does, it's a nice upgrade. And last we have Biological Technology, 5 points. Place a mission token on this card at the start of each planning phase. When attacking, you may spend up to 2 of these tokens to add an equal number of attack dice. When defending, you may spend up to 2 of these tokens to add an equal number of defense dice. This upgrade may only be purchased for a species 8472 ship, and no ship can be equipped with more than one. Kind of nice because you're going to get one at the start of the game, probably a second one before you even get into your first engagement, so you're already going to have a +2 possible attack or defense, or you can mix and match however you want them right off the bat, and then it regenerates every turn. So basically for the entire game you're going to get a minimum of a +1 to something, because at the beginning of each planning phase you're going to put another token on here, so that turn you're going to have that token. 5 points is a little high, but then again all of these species upgrades are high, so for what it does, it's an amazing value. After the first couple turns, it pretty much pays for itself. Those stats alone. Like I said, you're going to get a 2 tokens on there before you even engage. And at that point, that's worth 4 points if you had a ship with a 2 higher attack value right there. So definitely useful, definitely worth its costs. If you have the 5 points, there's no reason not to take these. For the rest of our expansion, we have our 6 shields, our critical and auxiliary token, scan and evasive tokens, a pair of disable tokens, have our reminder token for Fluidic Space, target lock C3 this time, additional rules card explaining the regenerate ability. Mission for this one's kind of interesting. It's Final Stand. It's a damaged bioship that's being chased by another ship, anything non-Borg. Goes into this asteroid field to hide, and the captain actually teleports down to one of the asteroids, and the captain of the other ship needs to beam down to the asteroid and basically fight him one-on-one. Always fun to see more and unique scenarios out there. The ship's the exact same model we got for the Bioship Alpha. Lots of detail, and surprisingly painted quite well. I know the Bioship Omega that's coming has a different paint scheme on it, but this one, like I said, is exactly the same as the Alpha. I've seen some people do some amazing repaints on these in some really cool, like, bio-themed paint schemes. Still a really cool model. There's our Bioship Beta base. 90-degree front arc, no rear arc, which kind of hinders these, but they have the maneuverability that they don't really need it. And the generic Bioship base with the same. Overall, it's a really nice expansion. Bioships and their upgrades are really pricey points-wise, but they more than make up for it in the amount of power that they can dish out. This ship is extremely durable with its named ability, as well as just the species resistances to begin with, the fact that it can regenerate as an action, and some of the upgrades that really complement that as well. Definitely combined with the Bioship Alpha and the upcoming Omega, there's the makings of a extremely powerful fleet. I actually saw in one of the major tournaments a pair of Bioship Alpha and the generic version of it with just some basic upgrades, and a support ship were in the finalists, or at least the top 4. Definitely a viable build, whether you're playing casual fun play at home or tournament play. In a faction pure environment, they are a pretty mean force now, especially with the different options they have available now. Could definitely see buying multiples of these for things like biological technology to get those extra cards to put on your previous ships. And of course they all combine well with the upgrade from Bioship Alpha, where they all combine fire. I can't remember the name of the exact card, but the more ships you have definitely can contribute to make that just a nasty attack. If you play faction pure, definitely worth picking one of these up. I'm actually considering picking up a second one because I really like the way the species are going here, and definitely want to field a nice fleet of them sometime in the future. Anyway, that's it for this one, and we'll see you in the next video.